you would think, dream come true. I went from an MBA internship where I was making about maybe $35,000 extrapolated over a year to making $70,000 a year. And I'm also living in an area that the cost of living is significantly less than what it was in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. So I'm excited. I'm ready to start my role. And I took a deep breath. Pivot in your confidence, career, and compensation with the 5-Minute Career Hack Podcast every Monday and Thursday. Now, get ready as we pour out your 5-Minute Career Hack for the week. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had just accepted the role to become a financial planner for the video game hardware and accessories category for Walmart US. I was so excited because I had spent the summer doing an MBA internship with Walmart in their corporate office. I had moved from New Orleans, packed pretty much everything I could in my car. I left the stores and I drove all the way to Bentonville, Arkansas, in the northwest corner of Arkansas, almost at the border in Missouri. I got there and I knew what my purpose was. I came there to see if I wanted to stay in Bentonville, Arkansas, and build a career there in the corporate office. So after I finished my internship, the MBA internship that I was doing which was in global direct sourcing, I started interviewing for jobs, and an opportunity came up through a mentor of mine, someone that invested and took some time with me, Matt Shy. I'll never forget it. I appreciate him to the world and back. So I interviewed for the financial planning role. I got the job. I was so excited. I was going to be working on an exciting category that was growing. It was booming. I was going to get to be in merchandising, something that I'd always dreamed of. And I was going to get to work with some numbers, some very large numbers. It was a $2 billion category that I was responsible for managing the money, managing purchases, managing distribution, along with some of my teammates. So you would think, dream come true. I went from an MBA internship where I was making about maybe $35,000 extrapolated over a year to making $70,000 a year. And I'm also living in an area that the cost of living is significantly less than what it was in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. So I'm excited. I'm ready to start my role. And I took a deep breath. That's what I've learned to call this. I took a deep breath because I was so excited to get the role. I knew I wanted to stay in Bentonville. This was the perfect scenario for me. I took the deep breath. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I don't want you to take another deep breath due to excitement or due to exhaustion because you've worked so hard to get to a certain point in your career, to a certain job, to a certain pay that you have always been striving for, whatever it might be. That's when you can accelerate it. Don't get me wrong, but you cannot take the deep breath. And what I consider to be the deep breath is, just like so many books have told me, and I even coach people on, I took that first 90 days, almost that first year, and I was solely focused on video game hardware and accessories. So I was working with Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and a bunch of accessory suppliers for Walmart US. It was exciting. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but that's all I focused on. I wasn't thinking about Jamila Brown Incorporated. So how do you avoid taking the deep breath that I took? Because I didn't even think about negotiating my salary because I was so focused on the fact that I got the job. I want to stay here. I'm enjoying it. I'm going from 30-some thousand to about 70,000. This is great. It costs less for me to live. I just paid my car off. I wouldn't have a car note ever again. It was an exciting time. But I wasn't thinking about next. When you take a deep breath, oftentimes when you're inhaling and exhaling, there's a sense of relief that you've arrived to a certain point. But I wasn't thinking about next. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be happy where you are and you should not celebrate, because you absolutely should. You worked hard to get there. But there's some strategic things that I left on the table because I took that deep breath that I wasn't prepared for. We cover a lot of this in our course. It's one of the only comprehensive courses on the market right now that covers the entire life cycle of employment. From before you interview to your resume, LinkedIn, once you're onboarding that first 90 days, once you're in the role, evaluations, as well as your exit strategy and benefits. We cover all of that in our course. But today I'm just going to talk to you about the piece of when you get the job, what should you be focused on? I've been coaching some students at the university level, which is what inspired this podcast, because I wish someone had told me, like I'm advising them in their late teens, early 20s, to focus on themselves, their enterprise, their corporation, to make sure they're prepared for next, because next is going to come. If you're fortunate enough to keep breathing, keep living, keep working, next is going to come. And there's a lot of things in that first 30, 45, 90 days that if you're awake and not just focus on the job that you have to deliver, that you can capitalize on and maximize for your career. So here are a few of those things. Number one, the network that you can build in those first few days, that first week of onboarding, is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Think about the amount of people for the last job that you worked in, even if it was just going work the drive-through at McDonald's. Think about how many people you met within the first week for that very first job that you ever took, or the last job that you took. Somewhere between 15 to 45 people that you met. Did you control the point of contact? Did you make sure that you were connected with them on LinkedIn, had their email address or their contact information? Could you call those people? Could you access that person right now? And that's something that if you focus on in that onboarding phase, that first week, that first couple of weeks on the job, that network will not only help you in your current role to execute at a high level, but you'll also control the point of contact if you leave that company or leave that department, to be able to leverage that resource, that relationship in the future. You have no idea where it's going to lead you, no idea what you can gain from that relationship. But in the future, I promise you, most people can account for people that they met, that know someone that's helped them in some way, shape, or form in a role or attain a role, and possibly even negotiate a salary. So that's the number one thing, that network. Control the point of contact. Make sure you're building out that network. The second thing, and I'm going to leave you with this, I just want to give you these two nuggets. The second thing you're going to want to do is keep a journal daily. Keep a journal daily. Someone that mentored me, that worked for EA Sports when I was working in this same financial planning role at Walmart, taught me how to journal in Excel at a very early age, and I appreciate him for that. It was something that changed my life, and it's something that I practice, and it's something that I coach individuals on. It's also, again, included in our course. You want to just take a quick note every day, and you can use your calendar, preferably something that you can control even when you leave a job or a corporation. Just take a quick note about what you did, what you accomplished, any metrics that you achieved or delivered on. You want to take a quick note of that. That's going to help you update your resume and your LinkedIn profile. So when you come to me as a coaching client, it doesn't take us 2 weeks to remember everything that you've done in your career. And more often than not, I'm telling people they've done more than what they've shared with me when I'm supporting them with their resume and their LinkedIn profile. So number one, don't take the deep breath when you get the role. Make sure you're focused on Jamila Brown Enterprises, Jamila Brown Incorporated, whatever that might be for you, whatever your name is. Make sure you're focused on you. You still got to execute, but make sure you're focused on you in the onboarding phase. You want to control the point of contact by building out your network. And lastly, keep a journal of the things that you're doing day to day electronically, where you own the information. It's on your device or in your notebook, and be able to update your profile, your LinkedIn as you go along, so that you can be prepared for what's next. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed doing it for you. However, it doesn't have to end there. Come on over to our Facebook group community right now for free. You're going to get exclusive content that we weren't able to include in this episode, as well as past episodes. We've got challenges, we've got research, we've got lives, you name it, all for you in bite-sized chunks, so that you can continue this development journey. Go ahead, click the link right now in the description show notes, and we'll see you there.